Right now, you're probably getting ready for bed. You lock your door, turn off the lights, maybe check your phone one last time. Then you climb under a blanket expecting the night to be quiet. It feels completely normal. But the strange part is that worrying about what happens after sunset is one of the oldest human experiences there is. It's older than cities, older than farming, older than writing. For almost all of human history, nighttime wasn't relaxing. It was survival. So the question is, what did ancient humans actually do at night? To answer that, we have to go back long before houses, villages, or even modern humans. Around 2 million years ago, our ancestors had a serious problem. They couldn't see well in the dark. Unlike owls, cats, or wolves, humans never evolved excellent night vision. Once the sun disappeared, the world became full of sounds you couldn't identify and predators you couldn't see. Lions hunted at night. Hyenas wandered after sunset. Leopards climbed trees. And ancient humans? They were somewhere in the middle of all that. Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, including the Hadza people of Tanzania, have found that nights are rarely silent. Someone is usually awake while others sleep. Not because they couldn't sleep, because somebody had to listen. One strange sound in the bushes could mean everyone wakes up running. That's a terrible alarm clock. But here's the thing. Everything changed around 1 million years ago. At sites like Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, archaeologists discovered evidence that early humans were controlling fire deep inside caves. Not after wildfires. Inside places where natural fires couldn't easily reach. That changes everything. Because fire didn't just produce light, it scared away predators. It provided warmth during cold nights. It allowed people to stay awake after sunset instead of immediately hiding in darkness. For the first time, humans owned a small piece of the night. Think about that. The day suddenly became longer, and something unexpected happened. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied modern hunter-gatherer communities and noticed a fascinating pattern. During the day, conversations are mostly practical. Who's hunting? Where's the water? Who's making tools? But after dark, the stories begin. Legends, family history, spiritual beliefs, jokes, songs, stories about people who lived generations ago. It's almost as if darkness changed the human mind. Here's what makes this so important. Night wasn't just when humans rested, it became when humans remembered. Long before books existed, knowledge survived because people repeated stories around campfires night after night. How to avoid dangerous animals, where food grows during dry seasons, which plants heal sickness, who your ancestors were. Entire cultures survived because someone stayed awake talking beside a fire. That's civilization. Before civilization. But campfires weren't the only nighttime activity. Archaeologists have discovered beads, carved objects, cave paintings, and musical instruments dating back tens of thousands of years. Many researchers believe at least some of this creative work happened after sunset, gathered around firelight. Imagine sitting in a cave. The fire flickers against the walls. Someone plays a bone flute. Another person paints animals dancing across the rock. Children watch quietly. Nobody realizes they're creating art that people will still admire 40,000 years later. Not bad for a Tuesday night. As humans spread into colder parts of Europe and Asia, nights became even more important. People built shelters, made better clothing, invented sewing needles from animal bones, stored extra firewood before sunset. Winter nights could last over 15 hours. Without preparation, those nights could easily become deadly. Surviving the day wasn't enough anymore. You had to survive the darkness too. Eventually, villages appeared, then cities. Oil lamps replaced campfires. People began guarding settlements instead of camps. Some worked through the night. Others watched the stars, slowly discovering patterns that would eventually become calendars and navigation. The night stopped being something humans simply endured. It became something we used. But despite all those changes, one thing never really disappeared. Even today, you're probably more alert when you hear an unexpected sound at 2 in the morning than at 2 in the afternoon. Your brain still reacts. Thousands of generations taught it that nighttime deserved extra attention. Your ancestors who ignored strange noises usually didn't become ancestors. So here's the full picture. First came a world where darkness belonged to predators. Then humans learned to control fire and pushed the darkness back. Campfires turned nights into classrooms, theaters, and meeting places. Stories preserved knowledge before writing ever existed. Art, music, traditions, and culture grew stronger after sunset. Villages transformed night into organized society. And eventually, electricity made us forget just how powerful darkness once was. So tonight, when you switch off your bedroom light, lock your door, or glance into the darkness outside your window, remember, you're repeating a routine shaped by millions of years of human history. The world outside may be much safer now, but your brain still remembers a time when every sunset began a completely different kind of day. And maybe that's one of the most human things about us. If you enjoyed exploring where our everyday habits really come from, like and subscribe as there are plenty more ancient human stories waiting to uncover.